you want to use the microphone?
I don't want to contaminate. No, please. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining us for a very wonderful and much anticipated class and lecture by His Grace Amarendra Prabhuji. Amarendra Prabhuji ki jai. Almost everyone I see has been present in the past, at least 2 sessions yesterday, and then this morning we had a amazing Bhagavatam lecture. Can everyone please come closer? Prabhujis, Matajis, those that are sitting obviously on the bench, just kind of remain in the pews. The idea is to let those that come later have space to sit. So Prabhuji doesn't bite, come closer. Just be careful about the camera, please. Okay. And humble request, if you need to step out of the room, please don't come from the front, go from the back, okay? That's a little bit less disturbing on the speaker. So, everybody's comfortable. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you very much. So the process will be, Prabhuji will give the lecture as usual, and Aarti will occur at 12:30, and it may be silent. And the prasadam from the Aarti will be offered to Srila Prabhupada, but the devotee who's doing it may not necessarily go in between all of you, just to prevent a distraction from the class itself, okay? So please let's pay our kind attention to His Grace Amarendra Prabhuji. You will hear a multi-level class that's understandable at all levels, I'm sure.
I'm not sure of that.
I'm sure it will be. From newcomers, how many of you, Prabhuji wanted to get a sense of how many are here for the very first time or relatively new to Krishna consciousness? Can you raise your hand if that's the case? So 2 individuals.
Okay.
3. So 4. Okay. So I'm sure it'll be relishable for all of you. His Grace Amarendra Prabhuji is well known throughout the world for his, I don't want to talk about knowledge, but his realization of the verses from our Shastra and his fidelity to the Shastra as well. But expanding upon it to higher and higher levels of understanding. So I'm sure you will all get a lot out of it. Srila Prabhupada talked about offenseless hearing. So what does that mean? That ultimately means to hear with the idea of how can I apply it in my own life. Not how does it apply to somebody else. So please pay attention in that way. Take home some lessons of how can I understand this and apply it in my life and make my life, glorious. Okay? His Grace Amarendra Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So first of all, I am extremely sorry that I couldn't make it for the last week's Sunday feast. I had a very bad backache problem and I couldn't come in person. So we tried our very little bit to serve over Zoom. But somehow, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had inconceivable plans. With ropes of love, he was pulling me to have his darshan today. How beautiful they look. So we are very, very happy to be here in person. Thank you very much for kindly congregating for this morning's event. This will be the last session for this trip. We have had 3 classes till now. Yesterday, 2 sessions were on the topic of similarities and differences between Krishna Leela and Gaura Leela, and connections from Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this morning there was a Zoom discussion on, is there lust in Krishna's Rasa Leela? That was the topic. Some of us discussed that discussion, because many times we do get nervous when this question is asked. You're worshipping a God who has girlfriends. So how do we take up for Krishna, and how do we stand up with philosophy? So that was the discussion this morning. And now this is the 4th and the final in the series for this visit. His Grace Jai Sachinandan Prabhu told me to speak on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because this is in celebration for tomorrow's Gaur Poornima Mahamahotsav. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. So we will try to have some Krishna Katha. And we will see how Krishna will pull the tongue in the direction that he wants. Because many times we do make plans that, how about we speak on this or we discuss this, and all of that goes for a toss. So man proposes and God disposes. So I'm not going to announce any topic. We will see as it goes. In the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a very beautiful pastime of the churning of the milk ocean. Many of us may have heard of this story. It's a long discussion in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a discussion about how there's nectar in the central part of the milk ocean, and there are 2 camps. There's the divine camp, the demigods, and the demoniac camp, the demons. And both camps come together. Jai Shishinitai Shashinandan ki. Two camps come together to churn the milk ocean. One is the camp of the demigods, the divine. And the other side you have the demons, the demoniac family. And both are fighting each other, that we want the nectar from the womb of the milk ocean. They come to Vishnu. Vishnu's the judge. He's going to be the umpire, the referee for both camps. So Lord Vishnu says, well, there's a very easy way to determine this. We'll churn the milk ocean, and then you procure the nectar. It's very simple. They said, how do we churn such a big milk ocean? We need some paraphernalia, we need some instruments. So Vishnu said, okay, you take a big churning rod in the form of a Mandarachala mountain. There's a very big, humongously huge mountain. You can take that to be the churning rod. So then, Jai Sachinandan Prabhu wants everyone to sit closer. And Prabhu has made a disclaimer also, you can come closer because he said Amarendra doesn't bite. Yes, please come closer. I remember there was one place where we had a small hall. It was a home program, it was a small place, and we had more devotees coming that day. And there was no place. So they had like a sitting place for me, a Vyasasan. And then I said, well, there is some space here. And you can't believe, 6 of us were sitting on the Vyasasan. And I'm not lying, my wife is the witness to that. You can ask Swastika. I was sitting in the middle, there was like 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 around. And it was like a big place, and they were all sitting, and because they all sat, I was sinking in. And I had to ask for more and more pillows to keep me afloat. I don't know about others, but I was sinking in Harikatha for the first time. And then I was actually sinking so much so that I had to like kind of sit like this and hold the mic in my hand. So the good news is, it's not something like that today. So you can always come closer. So these two camps, the divine and the demoniac, the demons and the demigods, they went to Vishnu. And they said, we want to churn the milk ocean to get nectar. Vishnu said, you can use a churning rod in the form of a Mandarachala mountain, the humongously huge mountain. They said, we can't carry it. Vishnu said, don't worry, I'll help. After the big mountain was put into the milk ocean, now because of the weight of the mountain, it was sinking in the water, in the milk ocean. Now the demons and demigods had a bigger problem. They said, we know we have to churn. We have a churning rod in the form of the mountain, but the mountain is so heavy that it's actually sinking. Vishnu, we need help. They came back to Vishnu. Vishnu said, now what's the problem? They said, the rod that you've given us is so heavy that it's actually sinking in the milk ocean. Give us some help. Vishnu said, no problem. And he became a tortoise. He became Kurmadev. And it's described in the 8th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. He had a back radius of 1,000,000 miles. Hare Krishna. 1,000,000 miles radius, circumference. Around it was the shell on the back of the tortoise incarnation. He, under the milk ocean, he was supporting this hill. So now what's the situation? You have demons on one side, the demigods on the other. The rod called as the Mandarachala, was sinking. To support that, you have the big tortoise incarnation. Now what's happening is that this tortoise shell is so big. The mountain has vertical stability, but no horizontal stability. They're thinking we'll hold, but because the shell is wide, long and so slippery, the mountain is slipping from end to end. They were thinking, what's wrong? They went to Vishnu. Vishnu, we need help. This mountain has vertical stability but doesn't have horizontal stability. Vishnu said, actually, I had some itch on my back. And there's nobody who can help me itch my back. So I became a tortoise and I was just playing with the Mandarachala on my back. And this is where the famous English statement comes, you scratch my back and I scratch yours. Vishnu told the demigods and the demons, well, I'm helping you get what you want. I'm scratching your back. May this process also scratch my back. And it's actually described by the acharyas, he did have an itch. And he was relieving himself of the itch by having the mountain go from end to end. So next time you have an itch, sometimes people even offer very kindly, I will help you. But you will always see, they will always hit the wrong spot on the back. And then you say, no, to the left. No, a little bit to the right. And I'm pretty sure everyone has had this experience. And then finally you have to say, no, wait, let me do it. So anytime you get into that spot, whom do you remember? Kurmadeva ki! Now the demigods and the demons, they asked Vishnu, the milk ocean is ready, the two camps are ready, the base stability is ready, the churning rod is ready. What do you use as a churning rope? Vishnu said, go and speak to Vasuki. Vasuki is the brother of Kaliya. Kaliya was the very famous serpent who came to Vrindavan and on whose heads Krishna danced. Right? So Vasuki is the brother of Kaliya. Very powerful snake. Vishnu said, use him as a rope. He's so powerful that you can actually string him around the Mandarachala mountain, and one camp can take the face of the snake, another camp can take the tail of the snake, and you just churn using the body of the snake. And the Mandarachala becomes the rod, the mountain will move, and that will churn the whole ocean. Don't worry, I am under the water. They went to Vasuki. Vasuki agreed. They used the big serpent to coil around the mountain. Now the question is, who's going to take the face and who's going to take the tail? The demon said, you pick first. And the demigod said, well, we will take the face. The demon said, huh? Look at this injustice. You giving us the tail and you're going to keep the face? No, we want the face. You keep the tail of the serpent. The demigod said, okay. Whatever keeps you in the game, no problem. They switched it over. Now the demons have the face. They have the face. Demigods have the tail. They put it around the mountain and two sides they've held. Is everyone envisioning the whole pastime in your heart? Yes. Okay. Bhagavatam is called Shruta Ekshanam, the path of seeing through the ear. Everything is ready. Now what's happening? They said, we want to churn. Both sides are so weak. They're trying to pull, nothing's happening. Vishnu, we need help. Vishnu said, now what's the problem? I gave you the milk ocean. I gave you the idea. I gave you the rod. I gave you the rope. I gave you stability. Now what more should I give you? Some strength. We don't have any biceps and tricep muscles. So please give us some help. Vishnu said, okay. He took sides with the demigods and the churning began. And as they started to churn, the mountain started moving and it was starting to agitate the milk ocean. And as this process began, Vasuki was burning out because it was the frictional energy of the movement. As a result, his face started spitting fire. He was spitting fire because of the friction in his throat and the body. Because they're pulling him from the tail, they're pulling him from the face. And on one side is Vishnu, he's pulling too. And Vasuki is thinking, you're the one who sleeps on a serpent. And that serpent is always peaceful. I thought that's what it's going to be like today. And you're the one pulling and pushing. And Vasuki's body was going through so much friction that he was spitting fire because of the heat. Now what happened? Who had the face? They asked for it. There's no heat coming from the tail. The heat is coming from the mouth. The demons are all burning. They looked at the demigods. They said, "Oh, look at this. We could have as well had the tail. But on purpose, you switched the face to the tail so that we should struggle." The demigod said, "Well, you can switch it back again. No problem. We'll take the face. You take the tail. No problem." Some demon said, "You're giving us the tail?" The demigod said, "Let's not begin this again. You keep the face if you want. But if it's burning you, then you take the tail, we'll take the face." They switched it over. Now the churning began. The heat of the whole process was so intense. It was like putting the thermostat to 87 Fahrenheit in the house. Everyone's feeling so hot. There's water coming from everyone's eyes. Everyone's suffocated by the heat. Vishnu! We need help. Vishnu said, "Now what's the problem?" He said, "Can you help? The temperature's increased so much." Vishnu said, "What do you want me to do? Like, just let me relax in Vaikuntha, okay? He was thinking, Brahma is so good. You just instruct him and give him the ingredients he creates on his own. He said, "What do you want?" He said, "Well, the heat is so much." Vishnu said, "I have helped you so much. You need nectar. I gave you the idea. I gave you the milk ocean. I gave you the rod in the form of the mountain. I gave you the rope in the form of the snake. I gave you the sides. I gave you the strength. And now you're still complaining." He said, "No, it's too hot. We can't continue." He said, "Okay." Vishnu took 1,000-armed form as Ajita. He held the mountain from the top. So he's holding the mountain underneath as Kurmadev for horizontal stability. With 1,000 arms, he's holding the peak of the mountain for, it has vertical stability. Now he's holding for horizontal stability, and he invokes the rain clouds so that the rain cools down the whole temperature. They continue to churn, and the first thing that comes out is poison. Poison starts to spread. "Vishnu, we need help." Vishnu's like, "Oh, I need help. I'm the guy who needs help." What's the problem? So there's so much poison. Vishnu said, "Well, I will help, but not actually help. So I will take a form which is me, but not me." And he became Shiva. Hare Krishna. He came as Lord Shiva. And what did Lord Shiva do? Oh, he's so kind. He put his palms together and collected all the poison within his palms. I come from an electrical engineering background. We would work with integrated circuit chips, IC chips, which would have back-to-back cascaded BJTs, FETs, bipolar junction transistors. So at that time, I remember when we were taught this, that an engineer works with chips which are cascaded and which are integrated. I would think Lord Shiva is the greatest electrical engineer because he integrated and cascaded all the poison possible in a size that fits his palm. Because all the big chips, all the big circuits are put down in the smallest possible electrical way by the engineers. So Lord Shiva took the poison from the whole churning and caught it between his palms, like how an engineer would do. During those days, you get realizations according to your study. But now when I look at it, it's pretty hilarious. But anyway, so Lord Shiva would hold the poison and he drank. Now the question is, everyone knows the story that he held it in his throat. Question would be why? And the answer given is, because Lord Shiva had two options. Either to gulp down this poison from the churning or to spit it out. And both were not good options. Because if he drinks the poison, it goes straight to his heart where Sri Ram lives, his Lord. And if he spits it out, then the devotees of Ram are in danger outside. So Lord Shiva thought, if I have two options, either to give poison to my Lord who is in the heart, or to spit it out to the devotees of my Lord who are outside. I will do neither of them. Instead, eternally let me hold the poison on my throat. Neither spit it out, nor drink it to my heart. And therefore he's called Nilakanta Bhagavan ki. Now the churning continued. As the churning continued, many beautiful gifts came out. The moon came out. The elephant of Indra, Airavat, came out of the churning process. Lakshmi came out of the churning process. So many beautiful jewels and monies, gems, precious jewels came out of the churning process. There were 14 different gifts that came out of the churning process. 14 gifts. You can see in the Achyutashtakam of Sripad Adi Shankaracharya, Sripad Adi Shankaracharya sings, Krishna Govinda He Rama Narayana Shripate Vasudeva Jita Srinidhe Achyutananta He Madhava Dhokshaja Dwaraka Nayaka Draupadi Rakshaka. 14 names. And Sripad Adi Shankaracharya writes that I am calling these 14 names to tell the Supreme Lord, in the churning of the milk ocean, 14 different objects came out. With each name I am announcing, my Lord, I am not churning the ocean of my heart to get any of these jewels. I am calling out your name out of devotion beyond these 14 gifts that came out of the churning process. Because he could have called 12 times, he could have called 15 times, but he calls out exactly 14 times. Let's do this as a call and response. Krishna Govinda He Rama Narayana Shripate Vasudeva Ajita Srinidhe Achyuta Ananta He Rama Narayana Dwaraka Nayaka Draupadi Rakshaka. And if you count, there are 14 names. So Sripad Adi Shankaracharya says, from the churning of the milk ocean came 14 different gifts. My Lord, I am not attracted to any of them. I am calling out to you out of love. Or another interpretation he gives. My Lord, there are 14 planetary systems. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. 7 lower hellish conditions and 7 above. Bhu, Bhuva, Suva, Mahajana, Tapa, Satyam. Brahmalok. 7 lower planetary systems. My Lord, I don't know in which planet you are at this point saving which devotee. I am calling out 14 times. May you in the 14 planetary system and appear before me. How sweet. How beautiful. So in this way, 14 different gifts came out. And Vishnu told the demigods, many gifts will come out, but don't get attracted by any of them. Don't get attracted by any of them, but continue to churn. As they continued to churn, finally nectar was about to come. But as the nectar was about to come, the demigods called out, Vishnu, we need help! Those who need help, please loudly say, Vishnu, we need help! Vishnu, we need help! Thank you. In the history of ISKCON Portland, this is the first time when there's congregational chanting of the names of Vishnu. So the demigod said, nectar will come out, but we don't trust the demons. Why? Because the demons may steal the nectar. After all the hard work that we've put in, therefore we need fair distribution. So you please come. So he came, appeared like Dhanvantari and gave all the medicinal herbs and then came as Mohini Murti to distribute the nectar. My question is, in this pastime of the churning of the milk ocean, how many times did Vishnu help? Yes, all the time is the easiest, quickest, fastest and surest answer. Let's see how many times. What was the first time Vishnu helped? He gave the idea. Yes. Second, he gave the rod. He gave the rope. He became the tortoise. He held as Ajita. He was the strength. He, of course, gave the rain. He drank the poison. Correct, as Lord Shiva. He also gave the idea to the demigods, don't get distracted by the gifts. And then, he, as Dhanvantari and Mohini, he distributed the nectar. You can see in this one incarnation as Kurma, there's a Dashavatar. Vishnu took 10 incarnations in this one incarnation. And at the end of it, as the nectar was being distributed, Vishnu was the one tired, sitting. I should be the one getting the nectar. In this pastime, there's a lot of lesson for the Vaishnava community. What is the lesson? Lesson number 1. Everything should be done according to the instruction of the Supreme Lord. This is lesson number 1. Demigods took every step according to the instruction of Vishnu. Second, although Kurma was not seen, the demigods were convinced he's the one holding everything together. So what's the first lesson? Take every step on the path of bhakti according to the instruction of the Supreme Lord. Second, don't ever take credit for anything, because as we are churning activities in our life, whatever success we get, it's because there's an inconceivably invisible Kurma Dev supporting under the water of our activities, everything that we are doing. Third lesson, when you continue to churn, there will be poison that will come out. When you take up some project, when you take up the chanting process, either the poison of sleep or the poison of distraction, or you come as a community, there may be some poison of misunderstanding and miscommunication and backstabbing and rumors and whatnot. If you stop the churning at that point, all that you get is poison. If you stop churning the ocean, all that you'll get is poison. So what did the demigods do? They continued to churn. What are the 3 lessons till now? Lesson number 1. Take every step according to the instruction of Vishnu. Second, don't take any credit, because who's there under the water supporting everything? Kurmadev. Step number 3, when there are poisonous after effects of the churning process, don't stop the churning. Continue your project, continue your service. Step number 4, when you get material gains out of it, don't get distracted. The demigods did not get distracted by the Lakshmi and the monies and the Airavat and the Chandra who came out. And step number 5. Wait for the nectar to come. It takes a long, long time, but that nectar is Krishna Prem. So this churning of the milk ocean is the process of churning of the heart. It's very difficult, but by the help of Vishnu, it is possible. So now, what is the one-line conclusion of this whole story? Please repeat after me. Vishnu. No. Not we need help. The one-line essence of the story is Vishnu serves his servants as a master. Which means Vishnu becomes the master and serves the servants at every step. He takes up for his devotees at every step. And whatever they need, he fulfills. However, what about the things that Vishnu likes? Vishnu is spreading himself with 4 arms for his devotees. But what about his personal desires? When that same Vishnu came as Nrsingadev, it's the same Hari, the Supreme Lord, when he came as Nrsingadev, it was fascinating. It was absolutely a roller coaster ride for the whole creation, for the whole universe. Prahlad Maharaj just had to point. That's all. He was the director who said, action. And he just saw the whole film. Here is Hiranyakashipu asking, where is your Vishnu? Prahlad Maharaj says, you please tell me a place where he doesn't exist. He's everywhere. Hiranyakashipu said, Just answer my question. Don't answer a question with a question. Tell me a place where Vishnu exists. And then points to a pillar. Fortunately, we have no pillars here. There was one temple when I was speaking this past time, and there was a pillar right in the middle. And that was such a wonderful stimulant to the whole program, because I was saying, is there Vishnu in this pillar? And I was just hoping it doesn't crack, because I had to face the temple president after. Hiranyakashipu said, what about Vishnu? Is he in this pillar? And there was a reason why Hiranyakashipu was asking that question, because he handmade the whole palace. He exactly knew what he put in the pillars and the walls and everything. What about this pillar? Prahlad said he looked into the pillar, and there he saw inside the pillar Nrsingadev warming up. And Prahlad looked, and there was Nrsingadev. I'm ready. Hiranyakashipu said, is Vishnu inside? And Prahlad said, you may not want to see him, but he is. And Hiranyakashipu with his fist hit the pillar. And what happened after that? The ferocious, unbelievably loud, exceeding all decibel levels, was the roar coming from the outer sky. And as the pillar broke, with the loud sounds, with the roar, with the heavy breathing, here was Brahma thinking, what is going on? Because as he saw this brilliantly effulgent, like millions and billions of suns, effulgent Nrsingadev, quite unique, never seen before. Here is Prahlad Maharaj with tears of love standing. Because those who have love, they can recognize. Like you can see, if you have a puppy dog, you can come in your night gown and the puppy dog will still recognize you. You can come in Halloween costume, and initially the dog will be like, oh, I don't know what this is. And will come close and then start wagging its tail and jumping. Why? Because the dog knows, out of affection, he knows the master can come in any outfit the dog will recognize. Prahlad Maharaj is a completely surrendered, self-realized servant of the Lord. The Lord can come in any incarnation, and he's standing right there. He's the only one peaceful, crying in joy that my master is here. But Hiranyakashipu is thinking, what is this? This is a pillar in my palace, in my kingdom. Who is inside of it? For how long? I can't see his feet because the feet were in Patal, the lowest hell. And I can't see his crown because the crown were in Brahmalok. Such an ever-expansive, humongously large form with 16 arms, with very big, sharp canine teeth. Half man, half lion. The body is that of a man, the face is that of a lion. Sharp teeth and sharp nails, and tongue like a sword, licking through the face like how a lion does. And he has mane, golden hair on his shoulders. Nrsinga comes out with spitting red-hot fiery eyes, looking at Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu looks like a small mosquito. Our acharyas describe, the Lord came, Garjantam, Garjayantam, Nijabuja Patalam, Spotayantam, Hatantam, Rupyantam, Tapayantam, Krandantam, Roshayantam, Dishi Dishi Satatam, Samharantam, Bharantam, Vikshantam, Poornayantam, Karanika Rashatair, Divya Simham Namami, Nrsingadev ki. Bhukhandam Varanandam Paravara Viratam Dampa Damporu Dampam Dim 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 Dam Dhamapi Dhahamai Jhampa Jhampaisha Jhampaihi Tulyas Tulyas Tutulya Dhuma Dhuma Dhumakai Kumkumankai Kumankai Etatte Purna Yuktam Maharaharaha Patumam Narasimham. Looking all over, the sounds that he is making, the breathing on his chest is causing high tides. I'm pretty sure everyone's blood pressure shot up with the appearance of Nrsingadev, including mine. The oceans are having high tides. The female elephants who are pregnant are all having miscarriages, thinking that it's a big, ferocious lion which is coming to devour them. Everyone's scared. All the demigods are hiding behind different pillars and just hoping that this pillar doesn't crack. We hope that just one bomb, that's it. Everyone's looking from behind the pillar. Here this battle is going on between the Lord of all lords and the smallest mosquito who thinks he's the Lord of the lords. After this whole drama takes on for a long time and Hiranyakashipu is completely smothered and finished, slaughtered by Nrsingadev. Nrsingadev picks up Prahlad Maharaj and keeps him on his lap. And Prahlad is unmoved. He's bathing and basking in the rays of the Lord's affection. As Nrsingadev keeps Prahlad on his lap, he starts licking the face of Prahlad like how a lion would do to its cub. And he asks Prahlad, "Aren't you scared of me?" And Prahlad said, "My dear Lord, the lion is a matter of fear for the wild animals in the jungle, not its own cub. The king of the jungle can invoke fear in all the wild animals like Hiranyakashipu and so many other demons. But my Lord, I am your cub. I can even sit on your head, just like cubs do to the lion." And as he's sitting, Nrsingadev embraces Prahlad with so much affection and tears streaming from his eyes. Actually, Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam, he writes Nrsingadev is the predominating, presiding deity for Vatsalya Ras. Doesn't seem so, right? It may seem like he's fear-inducing. But Sridhar Swami writes, Ugra api anugra evayam swapotanam nrikeshari Vag isha yasya vadane lakshmir yasya cha vakshasi yasyaste hridaye samvid tam nrasimham aham bhaje. This katha is coming out because there's Nrsingadev on the altar. He's invoking all this. He's saying, "You rascal, you're coming and speaking in my temple. You better speak about me. Otherwise I'll break the pillar of your heart." I said, "No, my Lord, I will speak about you." I actually saw him on the altar and I was going towards the asan, but Jai Sachinandan Prabhu came and said, "We also have a Nrsingadev." I said, "Yes." So Sridhar Swami writes, when Nrsingadev had Prahlad sit on his lap, he was licking the face of Prahlad like how a lion would do to its cub. And he was bathing Prahlad with affection. Is everyone witnessing this in the canvas of your heart? Are you all seeing Nrsingadev sitting on the big throne with Prahlad on his lap? Yes. And he asked Prahlad, "How does it feel to sit on my lap?" Prahlad said, "My Lord, I wish you could experience this. It is the greatest feeling of affection to be seated on the lap of the greatest protector." At that point, Nrsingadev, in his heart, he had a desire. He thought to himself, "I wish I get a chance to be a child." Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj writes this. "I wish I get a chance to be a child. Who's thinking this? Nrsingadev. I wish I can become a child, and I wish I had a father. And I wish, as Prahlad sat on my lap, I, as a child, can sit on the lap of my father. And just like my father, just like how I embrace Prahlad, I wish my father embraces me. And just like how Prahlad felt secure, I wish I can feel secure. Dear devotees, to facilitate this one desire of Nrsingadev, there was a whole pastime that unfolded. And that is called Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan Ki. The whole Ramayana unfolded. Who's saying this? Vyasadeva is saying this. Vyasadeva says, Satye Daitya Kuladinasha Samaye Simurdva Martya Kriti Tretayam Dashakandharam Paribhavam Rameti Namakriti. That Nrsingadev who came in Treta to fulfill his desire, he came in. Who came in Satya Yuga as Nrsinga to fulfill his desire, he came in Treta Yuga as Ram. And now in Ramayana you can see, he appeared as a child. And he was sitting on the lap of Dasharath Maharaj. And when Dasharath Maharaj would keep Ram on the lap and embrace him, Ram, Nrsinga, experienced what Prahlad experienced when he embraced Prahlad. How beautiful. We know of these incarnations by themselves. But it's quite fascinating how the dots are joined by the Acharyas. In Ramayana, please everyone chant. Adau Rama tapo vanadi gamanam Ritva mrigam kanchanam Vaidehi haranam Jatayu maranam Sugriva sambhashanam Vali nigrahanam Samudra taranam Lankapuri dahanam Paschat Ravana Kumbhakarna hananam Etadhi Ramayanam. Such a beautiful verse. It's called Ekashloki Ramayana. What is it called? So everyone chant. Adau Rama tapovanadi gamanam. What does it mean? It says the Ramayana begins with Adau Rama tapovanadi gamanam. It describes in the Ramayana that the Ramayana begins with Ram entering the forest. What does the Ramayana begin with? Adau Rama tapovanadi gamanam. Then what happened in the forest? Ritva mrigam kanjanam. The golden deer came and attracted the heart of Mother Sita. Then what happened? Please everyone chant. Vaidehi haranam. Mother Sita was kidnapped. And to save Mother Sita, Jatayu maranam. Jatayu, the devotee, had to give up his life. And as a result, to find Mother Sita, what did Sri Ram do? Sugriva sambhashanam. He befriended Sugriva and asked for help because he was the king of the monkey dynasty. Then Sugriva said, my lord, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You help me kill Vali, and then I will help you find your wife Sita. Vali nigrahanam. Sri Ramachandra, standing behind the tree, shot the arrow. And what happened? Killed Vali. Samudra taranam. Then what did Hanuman do? He crossed the ocean. And being in Lanka, what did Hanuman do? Lankapuri dahanam. He set the whole Lanka on fire. Whole Lanka on fire as service. And then what happened? Paschat Ravana Kumbhakarna hananam. And then Sri Ram went there with his army and killed Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Etadhi Ramayanam. And he got Mother Sita, and this is the Ramayana. In one verse. 24,000 verses of Valmiki Ramayana condensed in one verse. So when Sri Ram appeared to fulfill this one desire of Nrsingadev, was it fulfilled in Ramayana? Could he get enough chance to sit on the lap of his father? Yes. As a child, Sri Ram frolicked in the courtyard of Dasharath Maharaj. And he played in Ayodhya. Not much is described about it, but it is mentioned that Ram's childhood pastimes are very attractive. Very, very attractive. When Ram used to crawl, the sages used to come and they used to say, "Oh Dasharath, the one who's crawling in your courtyard is the one who helps jivas who are busy crawling in this world. All the living entities who are crawling in the courtyard of this world, it is your son Ram who comes and crawls in this world and uplifts them." Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki. So Sri Ram definitely fulfilled his hidden desire of Nrsingadev. But as he performed his pastimes, it is described, Ramchandra developed few more desires. Let's quickly recap. We started our class with Vishnu, and we proclaimed a conclusion to that pastime. Vishnu serves his servants as a master. Everyone remembers this? He performed the pastime, he developed a desire. How many desires? One desire. And that desire was, just like Prahlad is sitting on my lap, I wish pastimes, he developed two desires. Nrsinga developed how many desires? One. And to fulfill that, he became? Now Ram, as he was performing his pastimes, he fulfilled that one desire and developed two desires. What were the two desires in the Ramayana that were unfulfilled? First, the first desire was, Sri Ramachandra, because he is the greatest king, it was very difficult for him to befriend anybody. Sri Ramachandra would put his hands out, arms out to embrace, and the devotee would slip the embrace and go down and touch the feet. Ram would say, "I need friends." And the devotee would say, "No, my lord, how can we befriend you? You are the master and we are your servant." Give me examples of this. Whom did Ram try to befriend and how did that friend slip off friendship and try to become the servant? In Ramayan's Leela, Ramchandra's Leelas? Sugriva. Ram tried to befriend Sugriva on equal platform. But what happened? It is described, Ramachandra said, "You search for my wife." And Sugriva said, "Well, I have lost my wife too. You help me first, then I'll help you." Ram said, "Okay." Ram stood behind the tree, shot the arrow at Vali, got Sugriva's wife back. Now what happened? Sugriva got his wife. Ram is waiting. Sugriva, now you help me get my wife. But Sugriva said, "Oh, actually these are the 4 monsoon months. And these are the months where there's profuse rain. June, July, August and September, typically in India. They're monsoon season. Of course in Seattle, Washington when I was, it was raining every day. So there's no specific season. It's, in Vrindavan, in India, it's pretty much like Vidhi Marg. You can predict. In America, the climate is like Rag Marg. Spontaneous eruption. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's sun, sometimes it's moon. Rag Marg. Spontaneous path. So Ramchandra told Sugriva, "I found your wife. Why don't you help my wife? Get my wife back." Sugriva said, "These are the 4 months of the monsoon season. Oh, it's everywhere. The water's flooding. It's muddy. So let's wait for these 4 months to get done, and then I'll send my troops in all 4 directions." Ram said, "Okay." The first month passed, the second month passed, the third month, the fourth month. Another 2 months have passed after. 6 months gone. Sri Ramchandra is asking Lakshmana, "What is Sugriva doing?" Lakshmana went and he saw that there was a party going on in Sugriva's palace. Lakshman came and told Ram, seems like he's still partying. Ram told Lakshman, go and tell Sugriva. Go and tell Sugriva the door through which I kicked Wali is still wide open, which means death. If possible, I can kick Sugriva also. Lakshman said, why go and say, I will kick him and come. I will kill him and come. Ram said, no, please, calm down. Lakshman likes when Ram gets agitated. Because they are extremely opposites. Lakshman gets agitated at the smallest thing. And Ram, he's always calm. So when Ram gets agitated, Lakshman gets enthused. Ram said, go and tell Sugriva the door through which I kicked Wali is still wide open. I can kick him also. Lakshman said, my lord, I will kick him and come. And Ram said, oh, calm down. I got angry just momentarily, but you calm down. Lakshman said, no, I will do it. He started marching towards killing Sugriva. The messengers, the monkey messengers of Sugriva saw this from a distance. Lakshman's coming. And he doesn't come without a reason. He's coming with his bow and arrow. And he's marching towards Sugriva. They came and told Sugriva, you're dead. Lakshman's coming. Oh, whoa, I was supposed to help after 4 months. It's already 6 months, what to do? The monkey said, no problem, just put your wife ahead. Lakshman will bow down out of respect, and once he calms down, then you come out. And that's exactly what happened. Sugriva sent his wife. Lakshman was coming like this. Sugriva put his wife out, and looking at the Mataji, Lakshman said, and once he calmed down, he said, I just wanted to ask if your husband is available. Sugriva, it's been some time, I have not seen him. So the wife said, you're not angry, are you? Lakshman said, not at all. I just would like to see your husband. She spoke for a few more minutes, Lakshman calmed down, and then Sugriva came out. So nice to see you. Lakshman said, yeah, same here. Come and help our master. So when Sugriva came back, Ram extended his arms. He said, my dear friend, you forgot me. And Sugriva slipped from the embrace, fell at the feet of Ram and said, my lord, you are trying to befriend me, but I am your servant. And in the same mood, Hanuman also in the Bhagavatam, you can see, 5th canto, there's a verse by Hanuman. Hanuman says, please everyone chant, Na janmanonam mahatana saubhagam na vak na buddhi na kriti tosha hetu taya visrishthan api nauvanau kasas chakara sakhe bata lakshmanagrajaha. Hanuman is saying, na janmanonam, I have no aristocratic birth. Mahatana saubhagam, I have not done anything good in my past lives. Na vak, I can't even speak. Na buddhi, I am dull-headed. Hanuman speaking out of humility. Na akriti, I am not even physically beautiful. Tosha heto, there's nothing I can give Sri Ram because I live in the forest. I have no clothes, no food, no home. But still, Sri Ram is so kind. He extends his arm, his palm out and says, will you befriend me, O Hanuman? Ram is so kind that he befriends everyone. But the friends, they feel so much gratitude. They say, we can befriend you, my lord. Why? You are the master and we are the... Another example is Vibhishan. Ram tried to befriend him too. Sri Ramchandra tried to embrace Vibhishan. Everyone in your heart, you can see Sri Ram embracing Vibhishan like this. And please everyone chant. Sakrid eva prapanno yes. Tavasmiti sayachate. Abhayam sarvada tasmai. Dadami etad vratam mama. Vibhishan came. Sri Ramchandra tried to embrace him. And Vibhishan slipped the embrace and fell at the feet and said, "My lord, these two lotus feet are the treasure for me lifetime after lifetime." So what was that one desire that Sri Ram wanted to fulfill? He wanted friends. And the second desire that Sri Ram wanted to fulfill is that wherever he went, women would stand up and say, "Will you marry me? Oh Ram, you're so attractive, will you marry me?" And Sri Ram would bring Mother Sita in the middle. Talk to her. Not just women. When Ram went through the Dandakaranya forest, sages in thousands got up with big beard and hair, matted dreadlocks. And they looked at Ram. Ram said, "Yes." The sages said, "We wish we can become women." Ram said, "Really? Why?" "So that we can marry you." Ramchandra would always tell them, "But eka patni vratasthitaha." I have taken this vrat, this lifelong promise that I can marry only one person, that is Sita. I can't marry anyone else. So dear devotees, let's quickly recap. What did we start our discussion with? What was the caption? Vishnu serves the servants as a master. Then when he became Nrsingadev and he had Prahlad on his lap, what happened? He had one desire, and the desire was to have a father, and he became a son. That was fulfilled in which Leela? In Ramchandra's pastime, he sat on the lap of Dasharath and fulfilled the desire of Nrsingadev. But one desire of Nrsinga fulfilled by Ram, but Ram developed how many desires? And during this Leela, you can see, Ramchandra was not like a master to everyone. He was like a friend. In Vishnu's Leela, you can see Vishnu is the master and he's solving others' problems. But in Ramayana, Ram takes help from others to solve his problem. He's telling the monkeys, "My wife has been stolen by Ravana. Can you all help me, please?" Do you like a teacher who treats you like a student and the teacher is the teacher and saying, "Hey, you solve this problem. You don't know so much. It's so simple. You solve it like this." Do you like a teacher like that? Or do you like a teacher who teaches like this? Come on, kids. We are at this point. Who's going to tell me what's the next step I do in mathematics? And the students put their hands up. And yes, "Oh, thank you so much. You're helping me solve my problem." What kind of teacher do you like between the two? The second one. That's correct. So Vishnu, please repeat, serves the servants as a master. But Ram serves the servants as a friend. It's the same Lord, but the intimacy is higher. Imagine if your spiritual master calls you. All of you think of your own Gurudev. Close your eyes and think of your Gurudev. If you're already closing your eyes in my class, no problem. If you're asleep, continue. Close your eyes and imagine your Gurudev calling you on your cell phone and saying, "Tomorrow morning, can I come home for breakfast?" Now open your eyes. What do you think? Amazing, right? You will think to yourself, my Gurudev has so many disciples, he can go to anybody, but he's actually giving me an opportunity by befriending me. Right? So, Vishnu is the master who always treats like a master. But Ram is like that spiritual master who calls and says, "Can I come home for breakfast? My wife is missing. Can you help me? Can you help me solve my problems?" As Vishnu, I solve your problems. But as Ram, can you monkeys help me? Not you, but in the story. Ram is telling the monkeys, "Can you help me solve my problem?" So therefore, Sri Ram serves the servants as a friend. And he fulfilled how many desires? Fulfilled? Developed how many desires? Everyone in the story till now? Fasten your seatbelts. Sri Ramachandra had two desires to fulfill, which couldn't get fulfilled in Rama Leela, and therefore he came as Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki. In Satya Yuga he came as, in Treta Yuga he came as, and in Dwapar Yuga he came as. Now Krishna, did he fulfill those two desires of Ram? Yes. What were the two desires? To have friends and to fulfill the desires of the other devotees who wanted to get married to Krishna. Both were fulfilled. Because Krishna in Vrindavan has the best friends. All of them hand in glove in all the crimes. Krishna wants to steal? Okay. Krishna wants to barge? Okay. He wants to eat butter? Homes. Stealing butter. Making a mess. And it's not even a clean sweep, like you eat butter and you let go. No. You eat the butter, you break the pots. You slam all that butter on the walls, on the floors, on the ceilings, on the pillar columns. And if there's still butter, call in the friends, feed them. If there's still butter, then feed the monkeys. And the monkeys are coming from the windows and the doors. Imagine a gopi who has spent hours making yogurt and butter and sweets, and she's out and there are like 75 monkeys jumping around. And Krishna would feed them. The monkeys would say, no, enough. Krishna would say, in my previous incarnation as Ram, you guys helped me cross the bridge. You helped me get Sita back. I didn't give you any gifts. Now is the time. Payday. Time to get your package, pay package. This is a paycheck. And the monkeys are eating. And at one point they say, enough. And then Krishna starts smearing that butter on their face, saying, just in case if you ever get hungry, you can just take it off your face. And the monkeys are like, what are you even doing? Krishna said, this is exactly what I do. When I get caught by the gopis and I have to run, I fill both palms with butter, mouth with butter, and I tell Balram to smear some on my face. So as I'm going, I can even still sweep. And the monkeys, at one point they say, it's enough, Krishna, our tummies are full. And at that point, Krishna takes the pot of butter and throws it on the floor and tells the gopi on the face, this butter is so useless, even the monkeys don't want it. And these are the friends that Krishna has, who are hand in glove in all this mischief. Krishna has a friend called Madhumangal. Don't even talk about it. After the COVID pandemic, because everyone was just, some are already predicting where I'm going with this. After the COVID pandemic, because no one went anywhere, everyone's just chair bone and teeter to one corner of their house. When they came out of their homes, all the IT professionals were all like Madhumangal. Pot bellies. Madhumangal loves sweets to such an extent. He's a Brahmana, but he doesn't steal. He follows some rules. Let the Brahmanas follow their rules. Krishna, why do you want to trouble them? You're a Gopa, you're a Vaishya, you like to steal, you steal. Why do you want to spoil the Brahminical culture? But no, Krishna wants to do it. Krishna tells Madhumangal, holding his shika, hey, how about you come today? We break into a house and we steal butter. Madhumangal said, leave me alone, I'm a Brahmana, it's my time to chant Gayatri. Krishna said the perfection of Gayatri is to help your friend get what he wants. That's Gayatri. Krishna said, I'm a Brahmana. Madhumangal said, I'm a Brahmana, I don't steal. Krishna said, you don't have to steal. You just come for moral support. And you just bless us that we will be successful. By the blessings of Brahmanas, impossible becomes possible. Please bless so that we become successful. Madhumangal said, okay, I'll come, but I will not help you steal. Krishna said, okay. I don't want karma, Madhumangal said. Krishna said, fine, I'll take it, no problem. They barge and break into homes. Madhumangal's looking at this whole pyramid that Krishna's made with his friends. Madhumangal's thinking, this is not fair. Krishna, come down. Krishna said, shh. A Brahmana can instruct a Vaishya in Brahminical culture, but not in what the Vaishya wants to do. Shh, let me steal. A gopi comes in by then. She looks at Madhumangal. Krishna says, offer your blessings now to the gopi. So Madhumangal starts chanting, no, 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 he starts chanting the mantras, and the gopi offers obeisances because the Brahmana is blessing. And immediately Krishna takes that blessing time to be the grace period to jump out of the house. One after another, all the friends are breaking out, and the windows are up, and they're jumping out of the window with butter in their hand. And there is Madhumangal, stranded. Big pot belly, he has nothing to do with the stealing, and he's slow, he can't even run out, can't even jump out. Krishna said, Madhumangal, run! He's trying to run, his dhoti is slipping. He's running, and he jumps. He gets stuck. Half his body is outside. The dhoti part, the legs are inside. The gopi from inside is saying, being a Brahmana, what are you doing? She's pulling the dhoti. And Krishna outside is pulling the shika. There is Madhumangal. The tuft of hair is being pulled by Krishna. The legs are being pulled by the gopis. And he has nothing to do with it. Madhumangal said, Krishna, you're responsible. Look what's happening to me. Krishna said, you have a pot belly. That's the problem. Just breathe out. Madhumangal did. The belly went inside. Krishna pulled him out. These kind of pastimes, no other incarnation can have. So the desire of having friends was fulfilled in Krishna Leela. And the second desire that Sri Ramachandra wanted to fulfill was to accept everyone's hand in marriage, those who want to offer themselves. And this is why we see 16,108 queens got married to Krishna. They have a connection from Ram Leela because they were the sages who wanted to become women and get married to Krishna, to Sri Ram. So before people criticize and say, why does Krishna have so many queens? You have to backtrack a bit to see that was actually to fulfill a past desire. Let's quickly recap. We are on the last 5 minutes of our story.
I think he has another desire also.
We will come to that desire and we will fulfill your desire.
Ram had another desire.
Ram had one more desire. What was it?
Like Lakshmana served Ram in his Leela, right?
Yes.
He wanted to serve Balaram.
Oh, beautiful. And therefore he became the younger brother and Lakshman
Yeah.
remained the older brother as Balaram.
Yeah.
Very nice. This is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
also Jambavanta wanted to fight with Rama.
Ah, that is there in Krishna
Again,
Leela.
he didn't say I can't fight now, but when he was marrying the Jambavati, he fight for the Samantakamani.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Few boons and
No, very nice. Beautiful. Thank you. At least we have a nice member in the audience who's sharing reflections. Very good. Thank you. That's very nice. It's nice to have two-sided conversations. So, quickly recap. We started off with Vishnu. No, we first started with Vishnu. We need help. So what was the first slogan we learned after that? Vishnu. He became Nishinga and developed. What was that? To fulfill that he became. Ram developed, fulfilled that desire and developed. What were the two desires? To have friends and to fulfill the desires of those who want to get married to him. And during this Leela, did he treat everyone like the master and them as servants? So let's repeat the second slogan for today. Ram serves his servants as a friend. And how many desires did he develop? Now to fulfill those two desires, he became Krishna. And Krishna fulfilled both those desires of Sri Ram. That is one, friends, and second, marrying so many queens. But however, during this Leela you can see, Krishna did not become friends with his servants. Krishna, please repeat, served his servants as their servant. You can see, Sarathya Parshada Sevana Sakhya Dautya Virasananugamanastavana Pranaman Snigdeshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnu Bhaktim Kuruti Nripatishcharanarvinde. He would touch the lotus feet of Yudhishthir Maharaj. He would bring water for Bhimsen. He would become the chariot driver for Arjun. And sometimes he would stand outside the tent guarding Nakul and Sahadev. Sometimes he would offer blessings. Sometimes he would become the messenger. Sometimes he would become the mentor. And most of the time he was servant. In the Rajasuya Yajna, you can see Krishna is lifting up eaten plates. He's washing their feet. Vishnu is serving his servants as a Ram is serving his servants as a friend. Krishna is serving his servants as a servant. All of them are the same. Ram, Krishna and Vishnu. But the intimacy is going one step closer to the living entity. One is the master, another is the friend, and third becomes the servant. Servant of the servant. But however, dear devotees, the final link to the puzzle, Vyasadeva writes, Nashinga developed, he fulfilled it as Ram developed, he fulfilled that as naturally Krishna, in Krishna Leela, dear devotees, develops three desires. Krishna, in the final piece of the puzzle, developed three desires. Please everyone chant. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanayaiva Swadhyavyenadbhuta Madhurima Kidrisho Vamadiya Saukyam Chasyah Mad Anubhavatah Kidrisho Vetti Lobhat Tadbhavadhya Samajani Shachi Garbha Sindhu Harindu. The three desires that Krishna developed in his heart from yesterday's katha. Desire number one, he wanted to know how it feels to be a devotee. Second, because he never has been a devotee. He's been the servant of his servant, but he's never been a servant himself of Krishna. So the first desire that Krishna developed is, I don't know what happens in the heart of my devotees. Second, what qualities in me are the devotees getting attracted to? Is it my flute playing? Is it my strength? Is it my beauty? Is it my wealth? And third quality, when I bless them and I reciprocate, what do they feel? Do they feel, I am chanting so much Hare Krishna, he's not doing anything? Or do they feel, I am hardly chanting and still he's so kind? What happens in the heart of the devotee? Three desires again. Desire number one, how it feels to be a devotee. Everyone please repeat. Desire number two, what qualities in Krishna are the devotees attracted to? And desire number three, when Krishna reciprocates, how do the devotees feel? Therefore you can see, dear devotees, Krishna to fulfill these three desires which he could not in Krishna Leela, in Kali Yuga, standing on the altar, in a golden complexion, on the bank of Ganga, from the womb of Shachi Mata, in the most wonderful, magnanimous, beautifully kind, merciful form, he comes as Shachi Nandan Gaur Hari Ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki. And when he comes as Shri Chaitanya, he becomes the devotee. Desire number one. When he looks at Jagannath, and he looks at Krishna, he feels, oh, it is Krishna's beautiful face which attracts me. It is Krishna's smiling lips which attract me. It is Krishna's flute which attracts me. And he sings, everyone please chant, Kwananda Kula Chandrama Koshiki Chandra Kalankriti Kwamandra Murali Rava Kwanu Surendra Neela Dyuti Kwarasara Satandavi Kwasakhi Jiva Rakshaushadhi Nidhir Mama Surittama Kwabata Hantaha Dhikvidhi. It means, oh, where is the moon in the dynasty of Nanda Maharaj, Shri Krishna? Oh, where is my Lord who has a moon-like face with the rainbow of peacock feathers? Oh, where is my Lord who plays the beautiful flute? And where is my Lord Shri Krishna who is the hero of the Rasa Leela? Where is my Krishna who has a cloud-like complexion and rain-filled monsoon showers of beauty? Where is my Lord who is the medicine to keep me alive, my ever well-wishing best friend. Providence, why do you separate me from my Krishna? This was the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what were the three desires? One, to become a devotee. Second, what qualities in Krishna attract the devotee? And three, when Krishna reciprocates, how does he feel? So you can see, Vishnu serves his servants as a Ram serves his servants as a friend. Krishna serves his servants by becoming their servant. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu serves the whole world by himself becoming the devotee. It is the same Lord, but with more and more intensity. Vishnu's blessing as the master. Ram is embracing. Krishna is touching the feet. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is shaking the heart by becoming the devotee. One desire of Nrsimha was fulfilled by? He developed two desires fulfilled by? Krishna developed three desires fulfilled by? And how many desires did Mahaprabhu develop? Oh, he developed unlimited desires, and that was unlimited jivas of this world should all go back home, back to Godhead and reach the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. As many jivas, so many desires, that may all of them get liberated. To Srila Prabhupada and all our acharyas who have carried this current and given us this conception of Gaur Avatar, we bow down in gratitude, because if not for them, we will not be able to learn all this. So now whatever we learned, we are going to sing it in one last verse, and that ends our discussion. Is everyone ready? Yes. Please everyone chant. Satye Daitya Kuladinasha Samaye Sim Urdhva Martya Kriti. Which means he who became Nrsimha in Satya Yuga, what happened to him? Tretayam Dashakandharam Paribhavam Rameti Namakriti. That Nrsimha of Satya Yuga became Ram of Treta. Then what happened? Gopala Paripalayan Vrajapure Bharam Haram Dwapare. Nrsimha of Satya became Ram of Treta, who became Krishna in Dwapar. Now, what happens? Gauranga Priya Kirtane Kali Yuge Chaitanya Nama Prabhu. That Nrsimha who destroyed Hiranyakashipu came as Ram, who destroyed Ravana, who came as Krishna, who destroyed Kamsa, but who came as Mahaprabhu, who did not destroy anyone in Kali Yuga, but instead changed their hearts and made them devotees. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna.
We can do kirtan, Prabhuji, now. We'll do stand-up kirtan.
Yes. So let's hear once again with a loud, the way Vaishnavas appreciate us by chanting Hari Bol. So Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Were you all paying rapt attention? Were you all
I think they're saying horrible.
attention? Were you all absorbing some messages? Prabhuji gently repeated the main themes, and you saw many levels of understanding. Yes? Okay. Very nice. So let's apply it by following the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by standing up and chanting Kirtan. Would you like to lead Kirtan?
Sure.
Okay. So if everyone can please put the mats away and face the altar. Please no talking about other stuff. Just chant the holy name. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you. The mats go back there. Thank you.
Huh? just have prasad after. We'll skip the food.
I think both are